With Todd Bowley splashing the cash again this summer, we're going to be ranking Chelsea's 40 most expensive signings, starting from the 30 million guys like Hazard, Kante and Jackson, all the way up to your Enzos and Caicedos at 0.1 billion. You guys enjoyed the United one and we had lots of good convos in the comments, so I hope we can do the same today. If you want more teams from England and even Spain, keep liking, keep commenting, keep subscribing. We're on the road to that 100k plaque. And I've actually been very polite to you to start with because in 40th we have Hazard. However, I've cheated a little bit. He should have been 42nd. I ignored guys like Dewsbury Hall and that so that we can squeeze Hazard on the list. So already, that should deserve your like, Chelsea fans. And of course, he is going into the S tier. I don't think it needs much of a long explanation. Obviously, he did have that 1 year where he didn't score a single goal. But aside from that, he put Chelsea on his back when there were times where there were no good players around him. Whether he did have good players around him, no matter what the circumstances, he put Chelsea on his back to put up many trophies. One of the most technically gifted wingers to ever grace the Premier League. Straightforward. The lap is in 39th, but as I said with the United video, any new signings will go down here, and then at the end we revisit and see where we put them. Which means in 38th we have Kante. Believe it or not, we have another S tier member. So far so good for Chelsea, huh? This guy won the title with Leicester, went to Chelsea, won it with them straight away back to back, and even in his off spells, he would deliver. That Champions League year, it wasn't his best campaign in the Premier League by any stretch of the imagination, but in the CL, man of the match upon man of the match, and he was probably the main guy that won them that second Champions League. However, next up, we go towards the other end of the spectrum because I think it's finally time Chelsea fans start being honest about Nicholas Jackson. People got very angry at me when I was listing all the strikers better than him. What was it, 2 years ago? They were gassing him for that hat-trick against Spurs when I said it's the worst hat-trick of all time. Worse than even Dirk Kuyt from 6 yards. They're like, nah, he's beast. It's time to let it go. Chelsea seem to be letting him go. This is disappointing. I'm not going to go F because he definitely had his spells and I can see there is somewhat of a player there, but the guy is just too hot-headed and rash. Like, when he sees red, he proper sees red. But at least he was somewhat visible because I see red for Jackson. I don't see nothing for Danny Drinkwater. Close your eyes for a minute, guys, and try to picture something Danny Drinkwater did. Now open your eyes. Nothing came to mind. Don't worry, you're not asleep. It must have been part of some kind of money laundering scheme for Kante or something. I don't know, but he's defo F tier. And now we go back up to the other end because Mike Essien. Listen, as a biased Ghanaian, I'd love to put him S tier, but I'm going to put him in the high A. Again, a bit of Ghana tax, but he scored some crazy goals. I remember the volley against Barcelona, the outside the foot from like 25 yards against Arsenal. He had rockets in his locker. He was solid in the midfield like a bison as well. I think an A is a pretty fair one. Maybe could push a little bit more, but obviously he's not like the kind of the goal getter or the most important player in the team at times like Kante was. But I think A is more than fair. Next up we got Diego Costa. He was here for a good time, not a long time, but I'll give him an A. Because that was an era where, yeah, Chelsea, they needed that 9. They've had their spells where they've been really unlucky with number 9s in the past. Obviously, he was a 19, but regardless, he was their striker. He balled out. He won them a league. So, again, A is pretty fair. S, remember, S is for like sensational. A is amazing. B is like you're a baller, like you balled out kind of thing. C is just a calm signing. D for disappointing. And then F, I don't want to get demonetized, but you know what F stands for. And if you don't, you should get it now because I'm putting Badiashile over there. He's going to go ahead of Drinkwater. Obviously, that guy did nothing. Badiashile is like a 1 good game, 4 bad games. 1 good game, 4 bad games. Yeah, I just don't understand like how many. There's going to be a lot of centre-backs on this list. I'll say that from now. But we go back up. It's like we're going up and down. So far, should Chelsea be spending a lot of money? At the moment, it's looking 50-50. It's a pure guess. But we do have probably on this list the highest one possible. Didier Drogba. Jose Mourinho saw this guy and said, listen, Roman, don't talk. Just pay the money. Roman Abramovich obliged. He paid the money. That first year was a little bit shaky. They were saying, is this a dive merchant? What's going on there? But after that first year, people kind of hate on him because, yeah, his numbers, I'm not going to lie to you, his numbers are pretty terrible, right? Like, he has seasons where he gets like 8 goals, 10 goals, 12 goals. But what you don't see when you just open Microsoft Excel spreadsheet like you New Day, football watchers, is the amount that he facilitates others. Whether that be Frank Lampard in, 05, 06, 07, 08, to Anelka arriving, the likes of Kalou and Malouda on the wing. So he wasn't just a goal-getter. He did, you know, in like 09, 10 kind of times. But in general, you got to look beyond the numbers. And obviously, look, the big games, he delivered them the Champions League when the light shine brightest. So it goes without saying that he is probably their best signing out of these 40 most expensive. Batshuayi, I'm afraid, is going in F. Listen, I can't lie, I thought he'd be cold. I used to use him on Ultimate Team. He was a bagsman. He arrived, and his most iconic moment that I can even remember in any shirt is him volleying the post and it hitting his own face. So his career is not quite panned out how I thought it would. Speaking of the guys that were cold on FIFA, we got Bakayoko. The less said the better, with his Osimhen ad trim, bro. This guy was abhorrent. I couldn't believe he was registered to Chelsea for so long. And another one is starting to get a bit peak, I can't lie, because we have Mr. NFT. Those of you that are new here will have no idea why I've called him that. But I remember back in 2020 when he arrived, I was saying that Chelsea spent 40 million on an NFT because there's that one gif on Twitter of Hakim Ziyech playing that long diagonal pass for Ajax, and it gets played on repeat over and over and over again. They paid all that money for that one NFT. That guy was terrible, bro. They tried to, like, again, gaslight me in the Twitter comments and that. And after a while, I went back to revisit those tweets. They said, okay, you know what? Yeah, okay, fair. It's my bad. Maybe you're not just some random hater. Maybe you just speak what's on your mind. So this, another bad signing. Koulibaly. Tricky one. It's time we start filling out these other two categories. And again, another good time, not for a long time. It was 1 year, but he was good that year, man. I'll say he's a baller. Like, I think he done his thing. He got sold for like, what, 20 million as well. So, yeah, money-wise, it's not fantastic. He could move down to a C, but I like Koulibaly. Next up, we got Shevchenko. Oh, no. One of the best strikers in Europe at the time. We're talking like a Ballon d'Or level striker being reduced to a 4 or 5 goals a season, man. Nah. This is bewildering to me, and it's so sad because genuinely at Milan, complete gunman. We got another new player here. We got Hato. Don't know much about him yet, so I'm gonna put him down here, and then at the end of the video, we'll try and place them somewhere. What I do know, however, is D for Disasi, but he's worse than on this one, man. He has to be on the F as well. I'm sorry. He's around Badiashile. You see the thing with Chelsea centre backs, right? And they're gonna lie to me in the comments. And as always, I like to have open and honest conversation. I'm not gonna say I get everything right. And likewise, if you want to disagree with me, just say, yo, you know, good video, but I disagree with this part or whatever. Don't start barraging me. Oh, you stupid idiot, you clown, you know nothing about football. Just say your opinion politely. And my opinion is that the best Chelsea centre back is the one that's currently injured. At any point in time, that is. So when Fofana's injured, oh, he's the best centre back. When Badiashile is injured and Chelsea are conceding goals, oh, don't worry, when Benoit comes back, he's the GOAT. When Disasi is injured, oh, don't worry, guys, Disasi, he's sick. Chalobah, I can go, the list goes on and on and on. But when they start playing, you realise, maybe they ain't that cold. Next up, we go to Kovacic. All right, you know what? This is one where I can put in the C tier. You could argue that we could swap Koulibaly and Kovacic. Potentially, he gave him a couple good years, so I'm not mad at swapping them two around. It doesn't really matter to me. So we'll go straight on to Cole Palmer. I imagine many of you will be shouting S. Not for me just yet. I'm gonna put him in the A tier. Listen, he arrived from City and he completely lit up the Premier League more than I'd say Chelsea fans could have expected, and certainly City fans and Pep Guardiola could have expected. His second year, a little bit slower. Not always his fault, because again, they've platformed him differently to try and get the best out of him and the team as a whole, rather than just everything funneled for him. So I get why his numbers dropped off, but obviously, you know, the 18-game goal drought is still significant. For someone that's meant to be the best in their position or in the league, you can't really go 18 games, you know, goalless drought without penalties and whatnot. So there's that, but then there's also the conference final and the Club World Cup final. The reason why I can't put him in the S tier or even high up in the A tier is because Chelsea is a club that has won the biggest things possible. So I don't think we should be like normalizing or accepting or gassing up winning the Conference League. Does that make sense? Or even the Club World Cup. Like I'm not one that's like, oh, it's the worst tournament ever, nobody cares, blah blah blah. I'm not that kind of guy. I love the Club World Cup. I enjoyed watching every single game. But can we just be honest now and agree a little bit that, look, it is not the Champions League, it is not the Premier League, right? There's no way in this universe PSG would shake your hands to swap the Champions League trophy with the Club World Cup. So I'm sure in time Palmer might go up, or he may go. I don't know what's gonna happen, but for now, I think an A is about fair. It's only been a couple years as well. Chilwell, I'm gonna put in the D tier. Disappointing, not because he was terrible, but just because I expected a bit more. You know, when he came from Leicester, I think all of us thought, you know what, okay, this is England's left back kind of locked up for now. And even in times when Luke Shaw, or Shawberto Carlos, the United fans call him, when he was injured, he didn't really lock down a left back spot. He didn't cement his authority enough. Obviously, yeah, cool, that first season and whatnot, but let's be honest, most people probably don't even know that he's left. Or last year, people just saw, oh, wait, Palace? Wait, what happened there? We don't know about this, so I'm afraid disappointing. Giovanni Chienda, obviously, new signing. We don't know what to do yet. But Joao Felix, it's in the name, man. Get in that F tier, Mr. Felix. A man came on loan. I remember he got that red card against, was it Fulham? And then he's going to start doing this. Nah. You can't come back again for 50 M's and be even worse than you were the first time. Stat pad in the Conference League versus teams that we've never heard of and then leave again. I'm sorry. Yeah. Hey, sports to the game is your best contribution in a Chelsea shirt. That says enough. And unfortunately, I'm sorry, guys. This looks like, I don't know, I'm being a hater or something, but I think so far I've said nothing wrong, right? But we are going to the F tier again. It's getting a bit full up. We got Timo Werner. I'm going to respect Shevchenko and put him below. This is another one where I thought, you know what? Timo Werner's the kind of guy that can beat the Bundesliga tax. Obviously, he didn't. And I don't know if it's a lack of mental fortitude or something that he's just scared to perform under the bright lights. But it wasn't good, guys. It wasn't good. We got another new signing, so we're going to put him at the end. Raheem Sterling. This one, it's tough, man. It's tough, but unfortunately, guys, he has to go in the F tier. I respect Raheem Sterling as a human being. I respect what he did at Liverpool and at Manchester City, but coming to London was the worst move for his career, because both Chelsea and Arsenal, he has been a shadow of his former self. And now guys forget how good he was at City, and for me especially at Liverpool. But again, there we are. We move on to Jorginho. I believe this is another member of the B tier. He was obviously did he get on the podium? Was he third? I know there was something about the Ballon d'Or. He definitely came like top 5 or so that year. Some could argue it's because of the trophies Chelsea and Italy won, and that's it. But regardless, that was a steady player for them. He done his job. Nice guy around the dressing room. So I think a B's pretty fair. He wasn't like, oh, amazing, like he lit it up for Chelsea, but he was a really good signing in my opinion. And now a very polarizing one. We got Fernando Torres. 07, 08, 08, 09. We're talking about one of the most feared strikers in Europe, in the world even. And then he arrived at Chelsea. And then he had that miss against Manchester United, against De Gea. And it just in general, he cut his hair. It was like when Samson cut his hair and just lost everything, bro. I've got a theory developing. And you'll see over time when I mention another player later on. But I'm starting to realize that Spanish strikers might have a confidence problem. Put them on the back burner. Think of Morata. Think of Soldado. Just hear me out on that one. Nevertheless, I'm not going to put him in F, because as bad as he was, as much of a flop as he was, his goal against Barcelona is quite iconic. You could argue they were still going to go through anyway or something, you know what I mean? I hear all of that, but the moment it gave to Chelsea fans, I think it's undeniable, right? Like, at the end of the day, if you ask a Chelsea fan, would you sign Torres again, knowing everything that you know? Well, Chelsea fans, let me know in the comments. Would you sign him again? I'd probably say yes, you would, because aside from the goal as well, he had good contributions just in general. So, it's a tough one, but I'm going to go calm. I feel like the Champions League run balances out how bad he was. But this next one, please, you're not going to gaslight me, man. Pedro Neto is going in disappointing. I understand. Again, yes, club woke up. Woo! And he completed some dribbles. And he scored that goal against, was it Fulham? But guys, this is someone that, again, you paid big money for, was meant to be a superstar, and he was getting benched in a lot of games, or when he was starting, they were crying, oh no, he's a better left winger, oh no, he's a better right winger, oh no, he's better centrally. Guys, his numbers were pathetic. The eye test wasn't passed either. Please don't be recency bias merchants and start gassing him up because of he scored goals in the Club World Cup. If that's his level to you guys, you know, what was it, LA and Palmeiras and whatnot, then by all means, fair enough. But the Premier League is your bread and butter, and he didn't deliver. Next up, this one is sad for me, man. Nkunku, someone that I thought would be fantastic. Rumour has it he's still somewhere with the balloon in his sock, waiting to take it out and inflate it again. It's been that long, but man, oh man, oh man. Just never quite fit in the Premier League. Like, you hear him, I think, was he top scorer for Chelsea last season? That's baffling to me. I know he's bagging like 4 or 5 goals against Noah's Ark and them, man, but how it didn't translate to the Premier League, I don't know. I still think there's a player in there, so wherever he goes, listen, I think he could still end up being cold, but for now, he has to go there. And someone with the same trim joining him in the D tier is Lavia. This one is not due to ability. This one is due to availability. That was off the dome, by the way, so, you know, big respect for that one. Let's get a little like for that one, please. But literally, great player, fantastic midfielder, but when are we going to see you play, bro? You might get like 32 minutes a season out of him, and so in that regards, you're paying 50, 55 M's, 60 M's for these kind of players to play a couple games a season. That's not really acceptable in my eyes. But again, he may go up higher by the end of his career. This is not a future projection for him. This is just so far. On the 9th of August 2025, he hasn't done anything of note for Chelsea, so he has to be disappointing. João Pedro rather, fantastic start, but I'm not going to judge you, just yet. We'll get to you at the end of the video. The LeBron James of soccer, Christian Pulisic, disappointing. COVID sold Chelsea fans' dreams. He balled out around COVID times with no fans. The fans arrived and he went back to his usual self. It's a shame because at Dortmund I rated him super highly, and at Milan he's cooking now, to be fair. But yeah, Chelsea just didn't really bang. Next up we go to Cucurella. His name starts with a C, and I am going to be putting him in the C tier. And I'm going to explain to you why, because I know people are going to be shouting already, oh, best left back in the planet, blah, blah, blah. Just allow me to explain and elaborate myself. He's been here for some years now. Can we be honest? Them first years were not great, right? His form completely turned and just shifted from the Euros onwards. That Euro 2024, where he had a phenomenal run for Spain, carried on to last season, where he was fantastic. But I'm not going to put you in the upper tiers when you had some terrible spells as well, right? Like, I get it. It's been a good year, but I will not forget the previous years where people were dragging you around by the hair. You were all over the place like Krusty the Clown. You were having a horror show, and that's why I put him C. Again, another good season like last season. I'm sure he can go up to the B tier. I hope we can, shake hands on that one. And as I said, Spanish strikers, my theory, they play on confidence. This guy had that miss. Oh, I say that miss. When I say that miss, I wonder what you guys even think of, because there could be a plethora of misses that I'm talking about here, whether it be United, whether it be Arsenal. I think when he hit the bar, there's so many misses. F tier, I can't even rank it anymore in order. They're just all in that one category. The ones above that I'm doing in order. There's a bit too many Fs right now. Oh no, oh no. This one is self-explanatory, right? This guy, he was pretty much on his knees begging to go to Arsenal. It didn't end up happening for him. He went to Chelsea. He got cooked by Joey Swole on the internet for recording someone at the gym. It turns out he was the one that was misbehaving at the gym because he went to go and inject whatever he injected to try and enhance his performances. The moment he realized that not every Premier League right back is going to give you as much time and space as James Milner in that Liverpool debut. So yeah, this was honking really, really bad. And sadly, guys, we're running out of space. It's another F tier signing. Kepa Arrizabalaga, the most expensive goalkeeper of all time. Most known at Chelsea for refusing to do the whole substitution with Caballero and whatnot. And then in the penalty shootout, ballooning the ball into the sky over the Wembley arches. 75 million. I remember there was a time, not even a time, his whole Chelsea spell, strikers, wingers, midfielders, you should just look around and think, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it's Kepa. Let's just shoot. 30 yards, 35 yards, 40 yards. Doesn't matter. It's Kepa in goal. Let's just shoot. Next up, Fofana. Sorry, guys. The F tier is filling up. This is someone who I hadn't rated at Leicester. I didn't think he was that good there. He went to Chelsea. He suddenly got super, super high ratings for whatever reason. Maybe because he went to a big club. He has never shown that for Chelsea at any point. He has not displayed that for 3 games in a row. You can blame injuries. You can blame whatever you want. By the end of the day, if I sign you and you're injured for the majority of your stay here, that is a flop signing. That is of no use to me. You being a wonder kid in France is of no benefit to me when you are in the NHS rooms your entire time here. So maybe you can be an NHS wonder kid, I don't know. But in this list, F tier. We got how many? 4 names to go, and then we got the 5 new signings. All right then, Kai Havertz. This is a similar conundrum to Torres, I suppose, because at Leverkusen, rated extremely highly. Everyone loved him. You know what? He's going above Torres because he genuinely did. He probably even goes above Kovacic slightly. I don't know, Chelsea fans, you let me know. He delivered the Champions League and obviously Club World Cup as well. He was someone that he would score you clutch goals in big moments. He reminds me a little bit of, like, do you guys remember Peter Osgood? I know Kante remembers Peter Osgood. When he scored that goal against Leeds in the 1970 FA Cup final replay. For those of us who remember, he's a very clutch guy. So as much as the Chelsea fans didn't really get on with him and he used to shush his own fans, and then obviously went to Arsenal, dunked on them and shushed them again and did that and did a knee slide. I get why Chelsea fans will not like him as much, but he did literally score the winning goal against City in the second Champions League. You could maybe even argue a bit higher, to be fair. You guys let me know, where would you rank Havertz objectively without bias and hatred and whatnot? One that we don't need any discussion for, Lukaku. Welcome to the F tier, buddy. He arrived. I'm back for the 3rd time or the however many times it is at this point, and immediately he's saying sorry to Inter fans. He's apologizing, saying, hey guys, one day I want to come back. One day. He went on loan. He signed for Napoli for about 70 million less than what Chelsea paid for him. So that is as bad as it can get, unfortunately. Moises Caicedo. This is not a future prediction. Bear that in mind, okay? So for now, I'm going to put him in the B tier. He did cost 100 million, right? So I do want more than just like the Club World Cup or something like that, you know what I mean, or Conference League, because again we're celebrating competitions that one of them you shouldn't want to be in because that means you had a terrible year the previous year, and the other competition is one that obviously he had no part in getting them there, if you know what I mean, because it's based on whatever 4 years ago and whatnot. So when you compare guys and their trophies and whatnot, it's difficult. But we're going to see in Champions League how good he is. You guys know I've been a super Caicedo fan. I always say since Brighton, since Chelsea, he's a really, really good player. But obviously we need a bit more than just, you know, a couple years to move you up into the higher echelons. And lastly, Enzo Fernandez. The recency bias merchants won't like it, but you guys know where I'm going with this one. This is for, I want to remind you guys, 0.1 billion. This, guys, is disappointing. Do not be fooled by his recent propensity. I'll even put him at the front of the tier. There you go. Just so that knocking on the door of the C tier. He's come out at the back post to score some headers recently, and suddenly he's incredible. Guys, I want to remind you, he's been there for over 3 years now. He had a good couple months when he arrived, and a good last couple months. Aside from that, abhorrent in between. For like, what's that? 2.5 years in between that? Dreadful. Obviously had the racism allegations. He was getting ran ragged by, to be fair, the guy in the other tier, Jorginho, when he went to the Emirates. He was getting ran ragged by the likes of Skip and these guys when he went to, what's Tottenham Stadium? It's not White Hart Lane. What do you call it now? Tottenham Stadium or whatever. Guys, he was really, really, really bad for a really, really large spell. So please don't bring up that he started scoring goals more recently, because we're not recency bias merchants here. That is our list of the... Yeah, that looks bad. That's a lot of F tiers. So where are we going to put these guys then? Delap, I think Chelsea was the wrong move. It was the right move until I saw them keep on signing forwards. And now it is no longer the right move. So they don't really have like a pure 9. I'm going to go low C. Hato, unfortunately, I don't know a lot about him. People have been asking me to do my Bombasso videos. I don't really know much about him, to be honest. He's going to be playing a lot, is what I do know, because Colwill just done his ACL. Is he going to be playing centre-back? He's not the tallest, is he? Maybe with how much hype he's getting, he may end up disappointing. I'm basing this off of absolutely nothing, right? So these new signings, we're having a bit of fun for the end of the video. Giovanni Kenda, I'm going to go disappointing, because I do have 2 players here, one of them being João Pedro, that I think is fantastic. I want to put him up in the B tier. He's a baller. I like Gittins too, guys. Gittins is really, really being slept on. In my opinion, a great signing by Chelsea. They've obviously lost Mudryk. They've lost Madueke. Sterling's still chilling there, thinking that if he doesn't say anything, nobody will realise that he's still there. But again, that is my list. Let me know what you think about it. Let me know what you change. Again, please just be polite in the comments. If you think I'm wrong about something, don't start throwing tomatoes. Just have a grown-up adult conversation. We're not here for like rage bait and whatever. Keep that stuff on TikTok. Subscribe if you haven't. Obviously, the retro tees, you lot are loving them as well. They've all been arriving recently. Check out the website, link in bio. Have a great weekend. In a bit. Bosh.